Hello, everyone. Welcome back to episode 16 of Drink Smarter, Not Harder. First episode of the new year. Happy New Year, everyone. Sorry we did not have an episode for you at the very beginning of the year. We were taking some time off, spending time with our friends, just having a good time. You might be slightly confused as to why it is just me doing this intro. We've had a really exciting day of actually already filming episode 16, obviously alongside Dom, and also alongside one of our best friends, Bobby, Mr. Bobby Baransaka. You guys have heard a lot about him through his work with CitiZen and us being community contributors and all of that wonderful stuff. But we were filming all day, and Dom unfortunately had to attend to some other things, and we were filming for a while. So I am just wrapping it up by kind of introing this next episode. We had such a wonderful conversation with Bobby where he talks about the year ahead for him. He talks about this project that he's been working very, very hard on and kind of the vision behind it and how he's been able to execute that. So I really hope you guys enjoy this episode. I want to, of course, give a shout out to Bobby for coming on. I met him at the very beginning of freshman year, and he is just one of the most motivated people I've ever met. Everything that he says he's going to do, I never have a doubt that he will just go for it and absolutely chase his dreams. He's honestly inspiring. He's such a wonderful person to be friends with and someone who's always in our corner cheering us on. So we're really excited for you guys to officially get to meet him. He came on in the Palm Springs episode, but this is definitely going to be a little bit less chaotic and gives you guys an opportunity to hear what CitiZen is all about and also hear about Bobby. So without any further ado, I'm going to bring on Dom and Bobby for episode 16.
All right.
And we're live. Okay. Hi, Bobby. Thanks for coming on the
Hello.
podcast.
Man, good. Man.
First episode of 2023.
Yeah.
Happy
New Year.
Happy New Year, y'all.
Happy
Hope
New
y'all
Year.
are blessed.
Oh yeah. So thank you so much for coming on the podcast. We've talked a lot about you. I think pretty much every episode there's been some form of
I'll talk too much about
it. They met you in Palm Springs too.
Oh my God, yeah.
And I was screaming coming in.
Yeah. Yep. Best intro of episode 8. I think that was definitely you. But yeah, we just have some questions for you today. We want to hear more about CitiZen. I know we've talked about it and we were lucky enough to be a part of its launch. But before we get into all that, we would love to just hear a little intro coming from you.
Yeah.
We've given, our own intro of you, but if you want to just tell the Drink Smarter, Not Harder listeners who you are, what you're up to, whatever you'd like to share.
Definitely. So my name is Bobby Baransaka, hailing from Phoenix, Arizona. Go Suns, go Cardinals, big Cardinals fans, even though we're Arizona sports fans are continuously just put through pain. So I'm gonna yeah, I come from Phoenix, Arizona. My family originally descends from Burundi, Africa, actually. So I am very much the Burundian American. They came here in 1998. I was born in 2000, and we've been in Arizona ever since. So I had the chance to meet these two wonderful people at Loyola Marymount University, entering college in 2018. And I've kind of been friends with them all 4 years, and it's been an absolute blast. We've had many laughs, many memories and everything. And, now we're on this journey of being professionals, being adults, creating, me with CitiZen, y'all with Drink Smarter, Not Harder. And it's just amazing to see us grow up, amazing to see us continue to flourish, prosper, all this jazz. And yeah, that's basically me in a nutshell. If y'all want to know more, go ahead, take it away. That's all you.
So I think you somehow, even though you don't know what we were going to be asking you, predicted it. Yeah. Because the first we were going to ask is talking about how each of us kind of became friends with you. Honestly, we were thinking about it, and I feel like I just met you right when I got to school. Dom, I don't know if you have a specific instance.
It's kind of just very much, and I'm sure Bobby, you kind of feel the same, but it was very much almost like us, because we talked about how we became friends. It's just well, you're around. Hey, I'm Bobby. I'm Dom. And then it was like we're always in the same place. It's
Oh, literally. I to LG specifically, I remember we'd always be hanging out in Jimmy and Reed's room.
Classic.
In Delray North. Shout out Delray North, y'all fully adopted me. I was a Wayland kid though, so Wayland's where it's at always. But yeah, I would always be at Delray North. I remember the first like 3-4 weeks of college, I would be hanging out with just like a completely random group. It was not y'all at all. And then I don't know, I think one day I met like Noah Glassman in his room, and then he was like, yeah, we're going to Jimmy Ryan's room right now. It's like, who the fuck is Jimmy Ryan? Excuse my language. So we went to Jimmy's room, posted up there, and then I remember Lauren walking in one day, and I was like, okay, yeah, that's LG. That's LG. But I think we were calling. So the thing is, I think we were calling her Lauren at first, and then I was like, okay, her initials are LG, so I'm gonna start calling her LG or whatever.
It's
And it
okay.
just
You
kinda
can you can cuss. You can
Yeah,
cuss.
that's
Okay, okay,
appropriate here on the pod.
so less, I like that. So yeah, LG kind of stuck,
Mm-hmm.
and then Dom was random. I remember Dom was random.
It really was. It really was though.
No,
Like
fully. I remember. So Matt is my best friend. Everybody knows that. I like scream his name on the mountaintops, whatever. And we were me, him, Reed, Glassman, and one other person I completely forgot. We're on the bluff one day, and we were like chilling on the bluff, doing usual bluff things. You could probably assume what we were doing.
yeah.
So we were walking back. We were walking back to Delray North to Matt's room, and I remember just bumping into Walsh and Dom.
Oh,
And I was
classic.
like, yeah, I mean, I mess with these fools. They're pretty upstanding gentlemen. Very much. And then I'm an average height individual, and so everybody I meet, I'm like, y'all are trees, dog. Like, y'all are trees. Dom and Walsh were two of those people. Glassman,
Yeah.
he's a 99%.
Glassman's a
No,
different
it's
level
different.
for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
He's an outlier. But the Dom and Walsh, I remember them as like the tall boys, the tall basketball boys. I remember Walsh was a kicker at first, or when I like first met him.
Yeah.
So we like chop it up and everything. And I remember us going back to Matt's room. And then we were supposed to be hanging out there for like an hour, I think, or something. I had something to do later that night, but we ended up like chilling the rest of the night. We were literally hanging out the rest of the night. We went to Mikey and Dylan's room.
Yeah.
And that was just that's it's been history ever since, like LG. I've known you forever. I literally can't remember exactly when I met you or how I met you, but it's been history ever since then. Dom and everybody else. It's been this. So it's been a beautiful friendship.
Yeah, you were definitely one of the OG people that called me LG because like my family kind of did. But that was always something like, especially like at Denrock, like whenever you say Lauren, I'm like, I literally don't know who that is. Like who like that. It's just like weird.
Literally.
Like,
I didn't know that
I literally abbreviate everything. So like our Levy Tahoe Motel group chat, I literally call us LTMC now just because of the fact that
we sound like a band.
I know.
Sounds
no,
like
100%. But I mess with it so heavy, like LTMC. We sound like a little club. Like let's run it.
Yeah, that's
but so that's pretty much us, I guess.
No, that sets the origin story up well. What dorm were you in? I always forget.
Huseman. Me and Walsh were in Huseman, and that's
so slept on.
That was kind of funny too, because like me, Bobby, and Walsh were the only three that we're like friends with now, like that didn't live in
Delray North.
Delray North. But like, if you were to take up, like, I would love to go back freshman year and like ask the people that were around and be like, who lives here? And I'm willing to bet that everyone would say that us.
I thought all three of you lived there.
in Delray North, which is always
super we were
funny.
fully the adopted Delray North.
Yeah, for sure.
I think I found out end of sophomore year that you didn't. I think I figured out, Bobby, that you, because you would always like trail off at the end of the night and they're like, he's going home. I'm like, what? I thought we were home. Like, what is going on? Anyways, yeah. Okay, well, I think that sets it up well. We've been friends for going on 5 years now, which is wild.
Time flies.
It really does. Really does. So getting into more of what you're up to now, skipping ahead from 2018, as iconic of an era that was. We would love for you to share a little bit more about CitiZen and like how you got the inspiration for it, and before you get into like talking about the platform itself, like when you kind of got the idea and when you knew this
No
is.
weekend recap.
Do you want to do a weekend recap?
No weekend recap. It's tradition.
We
Okay,
can.
okay. Sorry. We're jumping the gun. Bobby, tell us
Okay.
about your weekend.
Well, last weekend I got to spend my New Year's in Davis for the first time ever. Let's go
Yeah.
outside the home. Okay,
Yeah,
because
wait. How? That was literally last
Literally,
weekend.
that's why that
How
is
could
it was
you
literally last
forget?
weekend.
Sorry, we're out of
No,
practice. We're out of practice.
Rusty.
you're good. You're good. The usual around New Year's is that me and my family will hang out. We'll do this little kumbaya, pray around the table type shit. And I fully enjoy it. I put respect on God's name. That's my boy. But it's nice to be with the friends a little bit. And this is the first New Year's I've gotten in literally a minute. I think like 10 years outside of the home.
Wow.
So it was that makes me sound like I've been like in prison or whatever.
Yeah. 10 years first time I left the house.
Oh. No, but it was amazing. It was amazing because I got to go down to Davis. It was my first time in Davis. Got to see everybody, all the Bay folk. Yeah, it was everything I could have asked for and more. Me and LG were on a mission the whole night trying to fix my sweater because it got like green dye on
Oh
it.
my God. Yeah, that was my biggest accomplishment of the night. I don't think I've talked about this on the podcast. I'm kind of like a nerd about laundry. Like I'm actually not a nerd. I'm just very high maintenance and annoying about it.
She's
And
good at it too.
but I'm good. Like when something gets stained, that's the worst, especially when it's new. There's nothing worse. You get a new
And
thing.
I had gotten the jacket like 2 days before. I swear.
I knew. I was like, I've never seen this jacket. This is definitely new. And there was like a wreath on my door was dripping because it was raining so hard, and the ink got on his jacket. And I was like, anyways.
And I didn't notice it until we got to whatever the university beers that we were hanging out. I looked at my jacket. I was like, LG.
Fuck.
LG,
and like, and Bobby was like, it's fine. Like, it's fine. It's fine. And I kept like just looking at it. And I was like, no, like 4 hours later, I was like, no, it's not. I'm calling a time of death on this. I'm giving it my best shot. Anyways.
So we got that. Yeah, we got that fixed. We had it like air drying for a little bit. And I was like, LG, I'm trying to wear this sweater. Please put it in the dryer. We got it.
Sorry, I don't want it to shrink or some shit.
We're good.
This is part of the outfit. This needs to be.
At the end of the night, it was nice. Like, we were chilling. We were dancing on the tables. Unfortunately, we had a spill.
Humpty Dumpty came in, and I sometimes you got to take one for the team, and I did. I fell off.
That's what I'm saying. But he came up, and he was better than ever. So I was like, let's run it.
I'm still bruised, but you know.
Are you actually?
Dude, yes.
Like bad.
Oh my God,
dude! I had to take Advil the next day. We're sitting on the couch watching a movie. I'm sitting there. I'm like, dude, I know I like worked. I did like core power with Hannah a couple days before. I was like, oh, my butt kind of hurts, like my back. Oh, maybe I'm just sore. I'm like, no, dumbass, you fell off the fucking counter.
I wonder why. Literally,
Dom took a tumble, and the next day we literally didn't do anything. We sat on the couch all day. Hannah spent the next night because we were watching so much TV. It was a great New Year's Day. Anyways, we digress.
New Year's it provided me a lot more excitement and anticipation that I've had in the past for for 2023 amidst all the crazy and uncertainty of it all. So I definitely appreciated being there. Definitely appreciate you, LG, for inviting all of us and
of course
having a great night. So yeah, it was good. And Chris Dito and Jerry went to a masquerade party. They were fitted.
My parents.
No, go ahead.
No. Yeah, they hit the town and were nice enough to kind of let us have the house and have our own little New Year's Eve soiree.
They're G's for that. Also, can we talk about Chris Dito's, or when you had Chris Dito on? First of all, am I freezing?
You're good. No, there was like a second. It's okay. You're good now.
All right, straight. When you had Chris Dito on, I feel like that was literally one of my favorite podcasts ever. Just because it was literally one quote I wrote down was "Perfect is the enemy of good," and I was like, "Damn, okay, she's speaking my soul."
Literally,
because I strive to be like a perfectionist in everything I do. I want everything type A, B, C, whatever. And that it was very much just reassuring hearing that from somebody like her, and then kind of applying that to what I'm doing now. And I don't know, I really liked how she was focusing on the long game and the ideation of
Yeah.
of we speak about in our generation or whatever, and we can kind of get into CitiZen after this, but like we speak about in our generation and everything about on a more surface level. Oh, I'm gonna manifest this, I'm gonna manifest that,
Yeah.
but in all reality, it has like real power to it. You put pen to paper, you actualize those goals and dreams. And I know shit is real because it literally happened to me in high school. Um, I was leaving high school freshman year. I remember they made us write down on a piece of paper, what we were planning on doing for senior year and everything. I put down the typical all-American defensive lineman,
Yeah.
for acceptance to Harvard, all of that. But what I didn't realize I wrote down was, me receiving my acceptance letter to LMU and going to the university. And I was talking in like straight detail, like from the major, which was poli sci. And mind you, freshman year I wanted to be a doctor. When I wanted to be a cardiologist. That's just not working out for me now.
I was gonna say, how's that going?
Yeah, huh?
Yeah, it's not going at all.
Hitting
No, but to like
books.
how many friends I have and everything. And I think it's a practice that we need to all apply into our lives. Last night I literally wrote down like a vision script for myself, for the year 2023. And the whole premise of it is basically you're writing it from the point of view as if you're looking back on the year 2023. Like,
Yeah.
and it was crazy because I ended up writing like 4 pages in 2 hours on the plane or whatever. People were like, why the fuck is this kid working so hard right now?
Yeah.
Doing self work. Okay, I'm doing
Yeah.
self work.
Yes. The journaling. Yep.
I really appreciated that. Props to Chris Dito for coming on the podcast. Props to y'all for having her. And yeah, we can get into more of me right now. I don't really like talking about me, but yeah, that's awesome.
No, that I'm sure she's gonna appreciate the shout out, but I think that episode she does a really good job at like somehow not making it seem as overwhelming as like we all crack it up to be, and like makes things that like you really want to do seem like attainable. Like when I tell her something that seems like outrageous to me, she's like, okay, like let's figure out the steps. If it's 2 steps or if it's 89 steps, like we're going to figure it out. And I liked that she applied it to people no matter what career you're doing, or if you're doing more school, because I know everyone's just at like such different eras right now. And like what we talk about too is like comparing like where you are to like your friends is like hard as well. So I think whoever you are at this era of life, I think that episode was definitely very applicable. It was so funny because listening to it back, like I feel like she'd just like go off for like 3 minutes and Dom and I would be like,
Dude, I was
okay, all right, yeah. And I'm used to it, but I was like, wow. And she talked so fast that you're like, I'm trying to soak it all in, Mom. Like, what is going on?
No, literally at one point in the video, I was like 0.7.5 or 0.75 speed.
Yeah.
Please. Like I need
to slow down.
literally, I need to catch it all, please.
She moves
But
fast.
no,
She's Leslie Knope, like sort of in a different life. But yeah, okay. Well, no, I appreciate the weekend recap because that was honestly kind of a weekend recap for us too. I also love how you talk about going to Davis as though it's like LA. Like I finally made it out to Davis. I don't think anyone's ever said that before.
I feel like California in general was just like this place I've never. It's like going to the Bahamas for me, honestly. It was like this place I've never been or whatever. So Davis was definitely it gave me this nice like little small town vibe, which I really appreciate.
It's cute. It's very like low key. Was a great place to grow up, and I guess a great place to have New Year's for this year. Shit, like,
memorable. So let's go.
Yeah. Okay. Well, now coming back to original question, about CitiZen. Before we get into like CitiZen as a platform, like what made you kind of come up with this idea? What was the inspiration behind it? Walk us through the origin story.
So I remember, so growing up, like I've always been like kind of creatively inclined, I feel like, and I haven't necessarily, I mean, I guess so. For example, me and my sisters and my brothers and siblings we'd literally have a VHS camera and film us like dancing to like different songs like that. I'd on my iPad that the school iPad that they gave us in 8th grade or 6th or 8th grade. I'd literally film the Anna and Devine show, which was basically like a news segment on my iPad. I'd edit it on iMovie, and then I'd send it out to my friends. I'd give it to my little sisters to have. Um, and like making music in college, you know, I'd send Dom like little leaks I had, you know, the Fantasia one. We still need to get that out on
Yeah,
SoundCloud.
we need to work on that. That needs to be.
I'm telling you.
Let's put CitiZen aside for the second. we got some business to handle. We got some business to handle.
Dom, you're gonna be the manager. Trust. I've always had like a creative mindset, and I feel like coming in to college, I definitely wanted to take advantage of that time and you know, and take advantage of what I had available to me. But realizing that we were graduating college and realizing that, you know, you don't have much time to, I don't know, fuck around, you know, was kind of scary to me. But at the same time, I realized like you make the most of your time, I guess.
Yeah.
And a lot of what making the most of my time, or a lot of what that entailed for me, was, you know, pursuing a lot of these creative outlets and continuing to channel the 12-year-old me who was filming on that VHS camera, you know. So I remember talking to Matt about it, like, hey, maybe I should start like a YouTube channel or something, because Matt himself had like a YouTube channel when he was like 13 through 15, like it was a Minecraft channel.
It
But
kind of blew up
Yeah,
too.
it kinda did.
it was popping. And then I was like talking to Matt about it. I was like, yeah, I want to do it, because I want to do it centered around you know, politics and political apathy and all that stuff, because I'm a political junkie. And then I remember having the same conversation with LG over Canes one day.
Okay,
and I was like,
I was wondering. I saw that in the caption, and I was like, maybe he had the same conversation with someone else over Canes, but I'm pretty sure that might have been me.
It was with LG. It was LG. I remember like fully like giving her like an idea of like how I wanted to roll out merch and
Oh yeah.
like, things that I wanted to do with certain things, and it's very much veered away from the original idea I've had. But since I think about July, August time, I've kind of been just grinding on, you know, forming a website, a platform, I guess, a blog and a community aimed at, you know, sharing the lives experiences of y'all, you know. And that's kind of been my creative outlet, because it's allowed me to make graphics. And a lot of the work I do now, and a lot of the work I did this past year was communications related. So it was a lot of digital creation. It was a lot of press releases, a lot of writing. And I felt like this was it was the most translatable version. I mean, the best project to translate the skills that I already had, you know?
Yeah,
Definitely.
And so it's kind of just evolved into something of its own. I'm super excited to see, you know, how it grows. We just passed 200 followers on the page yesterday. Super excited about that. And yeah, we're growing slowly but surely. It's amazing to see. It's amazing to see.
No, you're definitely growing. Like I remember when it launched, I was like, great, we did our thing, and Bobby just did one like 10 times better. That's fine. That's a full-blown website, Instagram page, like the graphics. I feel like you've always had like a little side hustle of a passion project, like at every era that I feel like I've known you, which has been really cool. And I feel like you're definitely a people person, and this is like surrounded by people that are in your life and that you get to work with. So I feel like it's the perfect, it's snowballed into something that very much encompasses like who you are and I don't know what you're passionate about. It's cool to see. I can't believe you're gonna pass us in followers. Gosh dang it.
I have no idea if that's gonna happen, but we'll see. We'll see.
It might. The Instagram is a lot more aesthetic than ours.
No, that was one thing too. Like, I remember when you first came out with it. Like, obviously, I know you and like how passionate you are, and like you're very good with people and like creative. But like, just to see like the sheer amount of like time that I knew it took to like really calculate like your drop, and like the way you even contacted us, and like even the email that you sent us. Like you were like, oh, I'm gonna send
presidential
you
headshot. I
like, oh, I'm gonna send you an email with more information. I thought it was gonna be like just a normal Gmail, like, hey, dude, can you do this? And it was a full on
graphics.
Like, where the fuck did this come from?
I'm just like, yeah,
no,
crazy.
like I just want to give you your flowers because it's definitely really cool to see, and I love how it's growing. And like she said, but it's really cool that we can be a part of it, and it's a lot of props to you because it is really like it's so unique in the way you did it. I feel like a lot of people can just be like, oh, like, you know, I made this thing so people can talk about themselves, but like you really do care about it and you stick to it. So
Yeah,
it's cool to see it grow for sure.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it. I've definitely put in hours on this
Yeah.
little. That's there's been like nights where I've stayed up like till 4 or 6 a.m. just
Yeah.
editing something. You know,
Yeah.
like it was like the trailer, the trailer I dropped for like the whole thing. I remember I filmed it the same day, went to the gym, like did all my other things with my parents, like just talking to my sister about it. And then I was like, I shouldn't just like sit on this, you know, I need to edit it now.
Yeah.
So I literally stayed up until like 5 a.m. And then at 5 a.m., I literally sent it to my sister. She was like, why the hell are you texting me at 5 a.m.? Sent her the trailer. I was like, please look at this. Please look at this. And like, that's pretty cool. I'd be a citizen. So I was like, yeah, let's run it. Posted it the next day, got mad love, and I don't know, it's just super surreal, you know, being in a position where you can, you know, have a project like this and then receive so much support around it.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, yeah, it's
It's cool to
awesome.
see. It's very
It's
cool to see.
awesome.
So for those that maybe, I don't know, maybe this is the first episode they're listening to of us, or they haven't heard a lot about what you've done. What's like Citizen's elevator pitch? If you were to describe someone,
Oh,
what it
this is
is.
long-winded. Okay. All right, yeah, let's run it. So I'm gonna start from the beginning. If I talk too much, cut me off whenever. Honestly, I don't mind it at all. But in traditional sense of things, I guess when you think of the word, you know, the word citizen, it's often referring to the allegiance, you know, manifested through nationalization, whatever. You know, the whole "I pledge allegiance" to the flag shit that we were doing since third grade. You know, but if you break down the word even more, you know, and get to its core meaning, it's basically the consolidation and, you know, centralization of power in the hands of people, right? The citizens. And basically the people make the power. So when thinking about a name, I was looking for one that described, you know, a project in which I wished, you know, to bring about power back to the people amidst the, you know, the craziness and superficiality that does exist on social media and traditional media today, you know. And going further, in an effort to empower my peers and empower the people, whoever is viewing, watching, following, citizen was the best word to describe, you know, such a project. And rightfully so, you know, because the Z's and the smack top of that word, you know, makes me look like a young savant with the capitalizing the Z and shit, you know. So hey, go ahead. But in all honesty, when people ask what is citizen, in all honesty, I'm still trying to figure that out myself, you know. At first I intended it to be on my Don Lemon CNN bag, you know, but only for the individual from like 1997 to 2012. Otherwise, you can't get into the club, you know.
Yeah.
On Chris Brown line, you know. But over time through discussions and, you know, contributions, thank you to you both, by the way, um, it evolved into a platform and, you know, highlighting the lives and experiences of my peers, you know, and being as conceited as I am, and as we all are, you know, I operate under the notion that I live a pretty unique life, you know, and that I continue to try and foster that creativity and uniqueness, whether that be through professional or personal pursuits. But, you know, like I said, you know, it's very conceited of me to say, considering, you know, the fact that Dom, yourself, you have, you know, Palestinian roots, and one day are going to be a killer agent with a killer Dougie, or, you know, that LG has both two N's and two T's in her last name, you know, and is going crazy in the media space. I actually saw LG on the referral page for Sniffy the other day with her video and everything. I didn't know I was in the presence of celebrity. Honestly, I didn't know I was in the presence.
Sorry. Yeah. We'll do autographs after. It's fine. Yeah.
But I guess as narrow focused as we are, as, you know, people, as humans, it often gets lost on us how cool the people are around us, you know.
Yeah.
The variety, the diversity uh that brings, you know, that they bring to our life experience. Let me put on do not disturb. That's crazy.
We just got the same text, huh?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're fine.
Yeah.
So I realized our mics weren't even on the first 2 minutes of this video.
Yeah, so-
It's okay.
Um,
The low stakes here. We're
Yeah.
good.
Stop texting. But yeah, as narrow focused as we are, we have so much variety, so much life experience around us, and there's a lot of possibility displayed in our generation, whether that be in politics and in sports and social media, trade work, marketing for my best friend Matthew, or the tech space for my little bro Nelly. So whatever it may be that makes you unique, you need to put that on display, and not for the sake of vanity, I guess, but because there is someone just like you, who likely hasn't gotten to the position that you have been in, and in observing you, they may be interested in what your thought processes were at one point, what you were thinking about when you were 12 years old, what you were thinking about now, what you're thinking about and aim to do in the future or in your next step. So that's ultimately what CitiZen is about, empowering the next generation of creators, change makers, and CitiZen had to get in the byline there,
Yeah.
and if I can aid in contributing to at least, 1% of the empowerment and the inspiration, motivation of another, then yeah, fuck yeah, I'm good. I've had way too many individuals in my life, pick me up in moments that I didn't know I needed picking up in. People, like my parents who just birthed me, figuratively and literally. My teachers constantly, pushing and prodding and forcing, the best out of me, even though the gifted program was very much suspect. My best friend, Sebastian, my best friend Sebastian actually got me on this, on the quote unquote weight loss journey, that I started summer 2018, continue until to this day. It's more like a lifestyle change I like to describe, but and then all of y'all, my friends, the group of friends that I have now that I'm extremely blessed to have, and that goes out to all of LTMC. If you, it sucks. But if I had a platform like CitiZen when I was younger, putting on display all the cool shit that you can do at this age, I'd milk the hell out of it. I'm talking coffees, chats, networking out the wazoo, because as aspirational as I am growing up, the aspiration you have, or the aspirations you can have, only get greater when you have a toolkit as to how to navigate life.
Yeah.
Hence, billionaires and their kids tending to have millions and billions of their own, aside from the inheritance they assume. I personally have a certain affinity for politics because of the individuals who have come before me, and broken through the arena. People like Barack Obama, somebody I aspire to be. Everybody needs direction, but more importantly, everybody needs to know that there's somebody out there like them. Someone that they can meet, someone that they can potentially surpass. So CitiZen is basically my watered down version of descriptive representation, putting on display all of the cool shit that, those in my generation are doing, so that more people in my generation can continue to do cool shit, so yeah, in layman's terms, what is it? Being a citizen means just, taking control of you, taking power of your own story, not just for the sake of yourself, but for those who love you, for those who may not know you, and for those who want to follow in the footsteps that you've laid already, which y'all are doing right now with this podcast. It's a chance to advocate for others via advocating for yourself, which I think is the most beautiful part, honestly.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I didn't necessarily anticipate having an answer like that when I was having Canes with LG, back in May. But I'm proud. I'm proud to get behind, or to be behind the scenes of a project like this, because you don't know how much healing I personally went through, alone just reading y'all's 2022 year in reviews. Imagine the 10, 50, 100 others who may read or will have read, who have who have the same feelings. So this stuff moves mountains, it moves mountains, and I'm just there to push and prod a little bit, just like the teachers I had back in third grade. So that's CitiZen in a nutshell.
That was a hell of an answer.
That was actually a really good answer.
I love that you talk about like the networking aspect though, because especially since it's like for Gen Z by Gen Z, it got me thinking how like for I don't know, anyone going into like the career space and job world is like, oh, I need to connect with people and network, and like I'm doing so via LinkedIn. But I feel like there's this whole other completely like untapped component of specifically our generation. Like I too was making videos when I was 12, still kind of trying to, like, there's this whole other new like digital era where people are doing so many cool things that maybe aren't just like on a resume or that you can't really put on paper. It's like you have to show and demonstrate. And I think this platform in particular like allows our generation to do that, because it's not just like I went here and I did this and I checked these boxes. Like people get so creative with what they're doing and how they got there. Like I loved reading Ella's 2022 in review and how like school, like that wasn't something that was like a fit for her. I think that was like such an important perspective to have and to read about, or someone who loved school like me, and it was like so sad that it was over. It's just cool that like any like young girl who's reading either of those can know that like both are okay and like both are valuable. And I just think it's really cool that there's a space that's not so focused on like what you've done, but what you can do and like what you have to offer, that's not just in like a professional setting.
Amen.
I agree.
And like you said, like this is for that young girl, you know, this is for that person that's looking at you and Ella and wanting to figure out what they want to do, you know. And I don't know, I feel like it's mostly applied in a political sense, or like at the elitist level, you know, like descriptive representation, like these are the people, or like these are certain individuals that have gone into this space, you know. I had a podcast, or I made a podcast for my gender and politics class at the end of senior year that revolved around Ketanji Brown Jackson and her like breakthrough into the Supreme Court and what it'll do for young Black girls everywhere. But like this is kind of like that. This is exactly like that. You know, this is LG talking about her experience, what she's doing at Snipfeed, how she came about with you know all of Drink Smarter Not Harder alongside Dom, and then a 12, 15-year-old girl, you know, reading this blog and being like, yeah, I can do that too, you know. So that's ultimately what it's about. And as much as I love LinkedIn, you know, we don't use it. We don't know how to take advantage of a platform like that, but we are the best at using Instagram. We are the best at using
exactly.
So I think that's one of my favorite parts about the whole project, is that it's all on Instagram. You know, it's not very much business focused. It's collective share. We do it all the time, you know, with our phones, you know, posting ourselves and shit. And my Instagram, I always feel like I try to make it like a little, not a portfolio necessarily, but like a time capsule for myself. So I try to, you know, put the best of what I can put on the page and everything, you know, make it a little artsy and everything.
I was gonna say it's very aesthetic. Like let's
yeah, my Instagram, I've put some effort into that for sure, but like I was saying, we do this best. We do Instagram best. So why not take advantage of a platform that Gen Zs are already, you know, succeeding on? So
and already using, versus LinkedIn, where like you just go on there and it's like
exactly
a bit foreign. Like
pages and everything.
Yeah. No, I was gonna say what I think is the coolest, and I'll be quick, but like the coolest part is like even I kind of came to like a realization the last couple of weeks. Is like you grow up thinking, and like obviously your parents and your grandparents and your family is like that's the model that you know, and that's like we're like in the age where like yes, we grew up with like phones and internet and all this great stuff, but like we were kind of at the beginning. I'm not trying to like say we're super old or anything, but like the kids now have so much more than we did. And like for me, I was like, why do I have to go into tech sales, or why do I have to like, why like honestly, but like why can't I do it this way? You know, like we need to stop. And I think that's what's really cool about CitiZens. You get so many different people with different stories, kind of like sticking it to the man, for lack of a better sense. It's like, I'm gonna make it our way because we have this. And people want to say, "Why? Oh, you guys spend too much time on Instagram." That times are changing, you know. Get with
network on Instagram.
Exactly, and that's what's cool about this, like our podcast and your stuff, and what everyone else is doing is like this is our version of kind of push the needle and do it our way, our generation's way, which is really cool.
Hey, very well said, Dom. There we go, dog. you have a political career ahead of you, my friend. Go ahead.
Maybe.
I'll see you on the hill, Bobby.
Hey! Okay.
Oh my gosh. Okay, well, going into more of like a broader sense, not just about like CitiZen, but also just about you. As we are in a new year, this is the first episode of 2023. What are maybe some goals for you this year, or if you want to talk like what you're kind of doing career wise, or anything you'd like to share that maybe you're looking forward to doing in 2023?
100%. So with the transition on the Hill, I decided with the 118th Congress, of course, I decided that it was probably best for me to, move back to Arizona, be around family more. Probably, I'm in the process of looking for work right now, but I think I'll probably be employed by the end of January, and hopefully doing further political work. And the whole focus around that was just me wanting to get it right. And this may be like too politicky, and I'm sorry if the political jargon is crazy, but I feel like I don't know. There's a weird problem that we have today in today's politics, with just the nationalization of politics and the idea that like one size fits all.
Yeah.
And my kind of thinking going into this, realizing that Democrats were losing the majority, I'd probably be out of work because of that. My thinking was, if I want to actualize any type of change, if I want to contribute to any type of change, I'm gonna have to do that at home. I'm gonna do that at home where it begins. So, like, I took a very backwards route to public service. I instead of serving a body constituents or a campaign or whatever, I went straight to the top, and I'm
really
serving a
did.
body of
Yeah.
and it's, as much as I appreciate it, as much as I value that experience, there is a true beauty to coming back and working on the ground and interacting with your community. And that's what I kind of hope to do in this next year, is just be more involved with Arizona politics, more involved with my own district's politics. So those are my professional goals, I guess. So yeah, I will be employed. Don't worry about that. I'm gonna get a paycheck. It's
We're never.
fine.
Are
We're
you
good.
kidding? You're the last person I'm
Yeah.
worried about. Are you kidding? Like, it's gonna be just fine.
Hopefully that works out. Hopefully that works out though. So yeah, professionally, that's what's going on with me. Personally, I talked about this in my 2022 year review video, but the one thing that I like, last year's goal of mine was more a greater sense of self-awareness. That shit hit me hard. It hit me hard. And so this year is kind of a greater sense of authenticity in everything that I do, whether that be the way I interact with the folks around me, or the work that I put out, the projects, and the whatever I produce. I just wanted to be me, unequivocally me. I said in 2023 we're moving unequivocally, and I mean that, because like I am tired of I'm tired of trying to adhere to certain standards and certain models, and there's a lot as young people that's put onto us, and I feel like it's time. It's year 2023. We're in our Jordan years. Time to put all that to the side, and just walk in our own power, walk in our own authenticity. So that's definitely one for me. What else am I thinking about doing this year? I don't know. CitiZen, obviously, like I want to see the success of that and more. Like I want the platform to grow, just because I feel like it could do an immense amount of good. And I have no idea how that's gonna happen, but it'll happen. It'll happen. And I have faith in that. So yeah, so CitiZen, greater authenticity, being more connected with my community, and then one thing that I've been preaching since like Palm Springs was that I just need to get better with communication in general. I'm a horrible communicator, horrible, horrible
No.
call. Stop, LG. Yeah, I need to get better with communication in general. That's just, I'm horrible at it. So yeah, I'm gonna start texting people back, start dropping some random FaceTimes. So if y'all get one in the next few days, hey, I'm just working on myself. I'm just working on my.
I
Yeah.
love it. I love it. I think it's a very interesting year for us, and doing the year in review that we did for CitiZen was very therapeutic. Like, you can ask Leia, I started crying at a coffee shop middle of the day on a Sunday. I was like, well, this is awkward. I'm like answering these prompts
Very
like, oh my
LG of
God.
you.
Very, yeah, extremely on brand. No one is surprised.
Yeah.
But it's odd that, like, and I've talked about this before on the 2022 Wrapped, but like, what we're doing now is like totally up to us and like totally what we want to do or what works out. It's like not you being a student. It's not you like doing these extracurriculars and like giving it your all. It's like giving it your all to things that like excite you and your job, and like that's like intimidating because it was just like, oh, let me figure out how to get good at school and get good at joining clubs and campus jobs. Now it's like the stakes are about just 1,000 times higher. You're like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, yeah, it's an interesting one.
That's more exciting, I feel like, at the
Yeah.
same time. Because the stakes are high. You could lose it all. You could lose it all. But at the same time, you could win big. And, you know,
True.
I've been on my sports gambling, game as of recently. Everybody hop on Prize Picks. That shit hits. Yeah, I've lost really big, but I've also won really big. And that's just life. That's just life.
That is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, well, we just have a few more questions.
Yeah.
You want to ask the last like kind of legit
Yeah.
question?
So we talked about it a while ago, but like, if nothing could get in your way and you are 6-year-old Bobby, and what would be your dream job? Or
If
dream
nothing could
profession? Nothing. So you could
Like
basically just
tomorrow-
be like, tomorrow
you
are
wake up
that
as
position.
this.
Oh, that's easy. President of the United States.
That's I
Amen.
knew it.
That's
Yeah.
what I thought.
I need to be in the Oval Office now. I need the Book of Secrets, Nicolas Cage next to me. I need it all. No, I'm the President of the United States it's weird because it's something I've literally been like saying that I'm gonna do since I was like 8 years old. I don't know if it's gonna actually happen, but if you shoot for the moon, you'll get near the stars, or if you shoot for the stars, you'll get to the moon. Whatever.
Well,
I don't
Good.
know.
Yeah,
enough,
that
close
sounds
enough.
good. We'll go with that.
Aim for the moon, shoot for the stars. Basically,
Yeah.
Pop
Okay,
Smoke.
third time's
yeah.
a charm. Good. Got it.
So yeah, that's definitely it. And I want, Air Force One's sick as hell, riding Air Force One. My brother's a pilot too. I'd have him jet that. Oh my God.
Ooh.
I'm set right there.
Nice. Okay, that
Yeah.
I had a feeling.
Yeah.
I was like, I feel like that's been, I don't know, something you've like right when I met you, it was like Bobby for president, like 2036. That was just like the group, like that's what we thought. That's what everybody knew.
I literally remember you and your parents walking out of Delray North, and she was like, "Oh," Christina was like, "Oh, it's the president," and I was like,
Yeah.
"Whoa, what
the
insane!" Like, that's good.
Christina, it's like she remembers the like person and like the one thing, like something about them that I've like mentioned. And of course, as a freshman, as she's having me like deck out my LinkedIn and meet with like the career center, I'm like, Mom, I'm literally like 17, 18 years old. Like, relax. She was asking, what was everyone want to do? I'm like, well, Bobby wants to be the president. She's like, I love it. Love it. Yeah. She's not forgotten it.
She literally offered to be my campaign manager at a graduation party. So, I'm gonna be hitting you up. Trust.
That would be a heck of a duo. That would be, yeah. Okay, well, for our final question, we always end on this.
Okay.
Your song of the episode that you want to leave with our audience. Yeah, song of the week, song you're feeling right now. It can literally be anything.
Something that hits you.
Okay, bet. I need to look through my Spotify play.
Okay, that's I saw your well, so Bobby made a snip feed for like CitiZen. Ooh. It looks really good. I looked it up in the back end of my thing and I saw it and I was like, oh my God, I'm laughing if he did click on one of the sections that like there's like a pop-up of like me. It's like, hey, welcome to this section. And I was like, oh my God, that's so funny. And he's like, no, I was like, I can help you make it. And he's like, no. And I was like, this is quite literally my day job, but like he clearly didn't need any help because it looks fire and it's very on brand. It looks good.
All right, so I'd probably say my song of the week. I have two.
Okay.
My song, like right now, like what I'm feeling right now, is a song called "Backflippin" by Tyler. Luh Tyler. I'm telling you, every single time I'm in the gym, I'm literally like bopping my head up and down. People are like, "Why this kid sing in the gym? Like it makes no sense." But I'm feeling myself. You know, this song makes you feel yourself. It's prime. It's prime. But
Love it.
another song I've been listening to that just like gives me a kick in nostalgia, like literally freshman year nostalgia, is "Racks in the Middle" by Nipsey Hussle and Roddy Ricch.
Great
Absolutely
song.
love.
Great.
Absolutely love. I remember I literally listened to that song every single day on the way to the shower. So yeah, those are definitely the.
I love it. I will have to put those in the next playlist that we're gonna do. We do
Yes.
playlists like I think every like 2 or 3 months, and I love like you can show it on your Snip feed page and people can actually like, look through it when they click on it, which I love. But we'll add those to our upcoming one. I saw you had your own playlist for CitiZen, right?
It has like 10 songs on it, 10,
But
15
that's
songs.
like, hey, still
Yeah, I
that's
mean, like those are the songs that I've enjoyed most in the last year. So I'm gonna share them with y'all. You know.
That's fair. That's fair. Well, that is it for
Yeah.
our questions for you. I think we're hitting just about a regular time for a podcast. That it looks
I,
good.
Sounds,
Looks good.
I
sounds
feel like
about right.
time's
Like almost an hour.
okay. Okay,
Yeah.
we put good time on this. I
That was
see it.
good. That was good. Well, thank you so much for coming on and taking the time to chat with us. We super
Yes.
super appreciate it. Um, yeah.
Yeah, no,
Anyone?
thank
Any
you.
final words?
I mean, thank y'all guys for having me. It's been a blast. You Drink Smarter, Not Harder is definitely the podcast to listen to today.
Podcast
Today.
of 2023.
Yes.
We've
Yep.
been named that by some.
Speak it into existence. Let's
Yeah,
manifest.
A
You know?
manifest.
100%,
Uh,
100%.
but yeah, drink. I appreciate y'all having me on. This is definitely something that we've been looking forward to for a minute. So
Oh
I'm
yeah,
glad we finally
Yes.
long time
going.
now, long time.
Yeah,
Well,
I guess
thank
whatever.
you for
Yeah, go.
coming on. And we appreciate having you and you sharing all things CitiZen and about you. And yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Thank
All right.
you.
it.
Also, if
We're-
y'all want to go, if y'all want to, stay tapped in with anything and everything CitiZen, follow us on Instagram, CitiZen by BB. All right, we straight. That's it. I need
you're
to tap
you're
in more.
already you're already linked in our
Oh, okay. Bad. Say less.
yeah.
Mad love.
Yeah. All right, you guys, that concludes episode 16 of Drink Smarter, Not Harder. Huge shout out again to Bobby for coming on the podcast. It was an absolute blast to have you on. We super appreciate it. Please check out CitiZen by clicking on our Snip feed link. You'll be able to access all things CitiZen through there, read about the blogs, read about the community contributors, read about everything amazing that he is doing and working on. There will not be a new episode next week. Mr. Dom is having himself a little vacation. He's going to Hawaii with none other than the amazing Hannah. So I'm sure you guys will hear all about that when he comes back. But we're putting this on pause again. But we're going to have so much fun content coming out at the end of January. So many new things are in the works for 2023. Just you guys wait. Drink Smarter, Not Harder is about to level up for real. Again, thank you to Bobby for coming on episode 16. And of course, to all of you from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for listening to another episode of Drink Smarter, Not Harder. And we'll talk to you very soon. Bye, party people.